I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
You look so great when you gotta shine. One more thought of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. 'Tis the night before Money in the Bank. Bakersfield, California is the last stop on our way to Los Angeles tomorrow night. And we're looking at Cody Rhodes coming into the building. At least I see Cody Rhodes coming into the building. He and Jay are going to have some final words before their match with John Cena and Logan Paul tonight.
And I have Mommy on my screen, Rhea Ripley. And now Alexa Bliss, as we get set for 6-woman tag team action tonight with all 6 participants from the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
No. Is it all 6 women? It
is.
I was like, something didn't seem right about that match, but it is all 6 women.
Yes. And as I understand, based on something I saw yesterday, we are also supposed to have the summits, as we like to call them, where all 6 competitors from each Money in the Bank will be in the ring at the same time.
Well, I mean, we're getting that in the 6-woman tag here. I find it interesting that Giulia and Roxanne Perez are going to be tag teaming again tonight, especially after Giulia said, yeah, we're not a tag team anymore. It's not about we, it's about me. And oh God, Seth Rollins' crew just walked into the building.
Yes. This is a bit of a surprise. But to allude to your earlier point there about Roxanne and Giulia working on the same team, does this not maybe lend a little bit of credence to one of them winning the Money in the Bank and then them challenging for the women's tag team titles?
No, because I get a feeling that the differences between Giulia and Roxanne Perez could very well come into play in this match. Giulia's still my pick to take it. We got Pete coming in saying, "Evening, chaps. Let's get ready for Money in the Bank. Hope Roxanne gets over the abuse on X." Yeah, that's yeah. We're going to talk about that on Turnbuckle Talk.
Yep.
Because it's not just Roxanne. There's another one that it occurred to today.
Yes, and situation that happened at the PC as well the other night with another superstar.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, I know why Seth Rollins' crew is here. This is going to be probably the men's summit.
Right, he's in the Money in the Bank there. Yeah, he's in the Money in the Bank with Andrade, LA Knight, Solo, Penta, and El Grande Americano. LA Knight, on the other hand, we're going to see him a little later on tonight as well, as he's scheduled to take on Alistair Black in what is going to be a hell of a match.
I would not be surprised if that match steals the show here tonight. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen into what the Visionary has to say.
Very heavy emphasis on what he did to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and then we see Solo coming out. I think we might be onto something. We've talked about Roman possibly returning at Money in the Bank. And it sort of makes sense. I mean, I know Roman has a home in the LA area.
That he does, but this is going to make for a very, very interesting confrontation, as we do see JC dressed to compete here already.
And Jacob Fatu always looking like he's dressed to whip somebody's butt.
Right? Now we do see what could be a level of decorum between Solo and Seth, but could we see this result in a mammoth tag team match later on tonight?
It's quite possible. Seth Rollins being the little shirt disturber tonight. Just stirring that pot just a little bit more to get the water to boil as far as the bloodline is concerned. But there is a few different match combinations I would love to see out of these 6 men here.
Right. And the now, I guess, teased Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu.
The tease for JC and Jimmy Uso, a man on his own now, coming in to take out JC, Jacob, and Solo.
You notice that little smirk on Seth's face. But our opening match, JC versus Jey Uso, coming up next.
Jimmy,
as we get an ad now for Worlds Collide coming up tomorrow at 3 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, join Chris Parrish for the watch along for that.
He's not doing one.
Oh, no?
No, he's working tomorrow. He's got a show.
Oh, right.
Unfortunately, there will not be one for us either, because that's like 7 hours. That's a bit much.
It is. And I will be at work when it starts, so.
We got Solo and JC talking over some strategy. This is basically a 1-on-3 situation for Jimmy here, so
It is. But is this where we maybe see, and I don't think it would be Seth or his group coming back out to save it, but who could we see coming to save Jimmy in this situation?
One word: yeet. Jay's in the building tonight.
I know, but I'm thinking they were going to save him. I was thinking somebody else.
There's that idiot riding his loud-ass motorcycle by your apartment again.
Yep.
I hear it almost every time you and I are talking.
Oh, yeah. And he'll be back sooner than later.
Yeah.
In fact, I give it about another hour, and it's going to go red and blue flashing by.
It's going to be like the guy up in my neighborhood, 2 a.m. cruising the streets in his. It sounds like a Ferrari. So every couple nights, 2 a.m. right on the dot, I hear him going down McNabb.
Wow.
But I'll tell you something interesting I did for a drink today. So I have some canned fruit in my pantry, and I opened up a can of mandarins, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with the light syrup that was left over?
Yeah.
So I go online. I'm like, oh, I can make a little juice out of it. So I poured some into my 2-liter juice jug, mixed in some sugar, some really cold water, and I got myself a tasty mandarin flavored water, basically.
Nice. Nice.
I unfortunately added a little too much sugar because I forgot it was the light syrup kind that the fruit was
Right.
in, and the syrup obviously already has natural sugars in it.
Yep.
But we're back to the action as Jimmy and JC go at it. I kind of like this graphic that they pop out
Right.
there.
Kept the action going in the middle of the ring, and what a crossbody there from Jay or Jimmy.
Yeah, I was marveling at that too, but I was also marveling at JC and the way he sold it. It was just perfectly executed.
Right.
Oh, Zelina Vega and Piper Niven in a Bakersfield brawl.
Interesting.
LA Knight versus Alistair Black. I'm totally looking forward to that one.
Right.
And it's Tiffy time tonight.
It's always Tiffy time.
You know she's going to come out and she's going to talk about the Money in the Bank because she's going to have a very close eye on that Money in the Bank match tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But she's got to keep her eye on other things. I mean, I'm pretty sure I almost said Tamina, but Nia Jax wants another shot at the title.
Yep.
And you know what? See, as I'm thinking more about Tiffy, and I do like Chelsea Green going after the U.S. title, there's a part of me that's also ready for her to get the shot at Tiffy.
Yep. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because I could say Candice LeRae could step up, but she's got Nikki Cross on her mind right now.
Yep.
And,
I still think the entire X factor for the women's Money in the Bank is Alexa Bliss.
Is she not the only woman in the match who's won it before, I believe? Or did Rhea win Money in the Bank?
Rhea's never won.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've got the 3 newcomers.
Jimmy's just like, I can't worry about you two. I got this guy to worry about.
But you'll notice, like, they didn't even make a move to attack him. They just, Solo seemed to be cheering him on a little bit.
I think he's kind of egging him on a little bit. As people watching on the USA Network are now in commercial break. Don't think you want to be taunting the crowd there, JC, when you got a man the stature of Jimmy Uso
Right?
laying there. But again, now I've got to wonder because what happened with R-Truth? R-Truth seemed like he was going to be the guy who was going to be helping out Jimmy Uso with
Right?
this situation. But now I got to wonder if it isn't Jay that steps up to give him a hand, who else could it be?
Right? And the only other name I can think of right now offhand is the guy that JC cost at Backlash. That would be LA Knight, but we know he's got this budding rivalry in this match tonight with Alistair Black.
Mm-hmm. I'll do you one. We've been seeing teases for them to have a feud for several months now. He just recently lost a cage match. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, there is that possibility.
Because we've seen every time, like whenever Drew was going to the back or Solo was going to the back and they come across one another, there's just been that little stare down between the two men.
Yeah. But I did notice, and it's an interesting dynamic, right? We've got Solo egging Jay on, but Jacob Fatu was staring down JC with that scowl on his face.
Yeah. And now he's staring a hole through the back of Solo's head.
Yes, he is.
Think the words that Seth Rollins had said to him have gotten to him?
Very much so. Wow.
JC Seth. Yeah.
That was a moonsault.
Impressive athleticism on JC's behalf. I mean, I really can't wait till we get the day when Jacob and JC actually have a match against one another, and even I'll throw Solo in there too because Solo is just as athletic,
right?
Jacob is just standing there like, "Yeah, you're good, but I'm better."
Now, I don't know the extent of their recoveries, but I'm wondering if maybe, just maybe, if this gets out of hand and the 3-on-1 the numbers game does catch up to Jimmy, but could there be perhaps a couple of Tongans returning?
One of them is supposed to be coming back like real soon because I know the timetable for, I think it was Tama who got injured in the War Games, right?
No,
Or was it
Tonga.
it was Tonga? Okay, so I remember reading that the timeline for Tonga Loa very much matched the timeline return for Bronson Reed. And I don't know the extent of Tama Tonga's injury either, so
I'm even going to put it out there. It's a guy who's been missing in action for a couple of weeks and a guy who's had history with the Bloodline. But what about a Randy Orton?
Randy Orton probably makes the most sense with Jimmy. The last time we saw Randy was at Saturday night's main event in that match against, not Saturday night's main event, Backlash, right, with John Cena.
That was quite the Saito suplex.
And from what I understand, Jeff Cobb learned that move from Mr. Saito himself. See, that's another thing I've come to appreciate since Hunter has taken over the WWE. We're no longer seeing this cookie cutter style of wrestling where it feels like every wrestler has the same move. And Jimmy just got ready for Jacob there.
Yep.
As Solo tried to provide the distraction. Oh. And JC just suffers his first loss. I mean, we played up the fact that there could be members or friends of Jimmy coming in to help out, but we tend to forget that out of all four of those men, who has the most experience as far as tag team wrestling goes?
Right.
And that's Jimmy. So Jimmy knows like how to work around distractions and everything like that.
Yep. And
Jacob is storming out of there on his own.
Yes, he is.
But as it says tonight, final words before Money in the Bank. Kind of interesting that they put it that way when I put it as tonight's episode as one final word.
Right. It's funny. I actually, just before we came on, I saw a clip, and it was John and Logan trying to come up with a tag team name going into this match. And some of the ones that tossed around were Heel Team 6. They even wanted to call themselves the WWE.
Zelina, I love you, girl, but you got a little too cocky with Giulia, in my personal opinion, in that promo.
I didn't get to hear much of it, so
she a little too overconfident, and you don't really want to do that with Giulia because she will find a way to beat you. But if you will excuse me for one moment, I just need to step away right quick from the show.
And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Best will be back momentarily. We are in commercial break. Really quite an intriguing way to start off SmackDown tonight with that promo battle between Seth and Solo leading up to that match with Jimmy versus JC. Of course, we've got once again the tease for Jacob Fatu and JC, or Jacob Fatu and Solo. But we also had the Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu. Which of those 3 matches, and believe me, all 3 of them are going to happen, and probably within the remainder of this calendar year. But which of those 3 matches do we want to see first, ladies and gentlemen? Solo and Jacob, Jacob and JC, or Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu? We do look forward. We want to hear your answers. We want you to engage with us, ladies and gentlemen. While we are in commercial, let me play you guys a commercial for everything that happens here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we got total non-stop action with Brace for Impact at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the Smackdown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And look, Mr. Best is back.
Yeah, I came back right before you played the commercial.
Yeah. So I was asking, of course, encouraging engagement and all of that from our audience. But I was asking because I think any one of these 3 matches are going to be seen within the remainder of this calendar year. Jacob and Solo, Jacob and JC, Jacob and Braun. Which of those 3 matches do you want to see first?
Jacob and Braun. I really want to see those 2 behemoths just beat the hell out of each other.
Right. I wouldn't even be surprised if we get Jacob and Bronson at some point this year.
Oh.
What a way to come back from the commercial break.
Did you happen to notice who was standing in the background of that promo?
I did not.
Shinsuke Nakamura was standing back there watching that.
Really?
Yep. Nakamura was doing the whole sneaky thing there, and that the last couple of months he's been just kind of just putting his eye slightly back on that United States title. He wants nothing more than to get that belt back.
Right.
He's just biding his time, as it were.
I know this match is non-title and it's like a Bakersfield brawl, so it's going to be anything goes. Mm-hmm. Is Zelina going to have anybody for backup?
I'm going to say Michin and BFAB are the best choices.
But I was thinking about this and how refreshing it is that we've had a Canadian And yes, although Zelina is an American citizen, her roots are in Puerto Rico.
Which, by the way, Puerto Rico is a territory of the U.S.
Yes, it is.
But
so it's refreshing that you're already using that international flavor on the U.S. Championship.
especially even with that little segment that we caught beforehand with Zelina and Giulia teasing a possible feud.
Yep.
Hang on, I'm pulling up the Money in the Bank 2025 card right now because after this show, I got to get into some editing for the show tomorrow night.
Right.
So I'm pulling up the match card so that we can talk about the match card as well.
Yes.
Because I figure even during this show, because we couldn't do it on Turnbuckle Talk, with all of the news that came out last weekend.
Right.
Maybe throughout the show we give out our final predictions. Like right now, let's talk the women's ladder match. I'm still behind Giulia on this one. I've been behind her since even before she came to the main roster. I just knew it.
Right. And I am so torn between Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. I think something you touched on earlier with the history between Giulia, Stephanie, and Roxanne, I think that will create an alliance because they have their history together in NXT. But of course, I think that ultimately that is also going to be their downfall.
Yeah, because if I'm Giulia, I'm still ticked that Stephanie took the NXT women's title off of me.
Right. And I think that Rhea is just too big a target, and everybody is going to be focused on taking her out of the match.
Alexa Bliss could be the same situation, you know?
She could. But I'm talking physical size. I'm not talking name value. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a 5-woman table or a 6-woman table spot with the other 5 putting Rhea through the table. So I am going to roll with Alexa Bliss.
It's not bad rolling as they go to commercial break, and Piper is just kind of stalking around Zelina right now. She's looking for some weapons. And just like last week, though, where Piper and Alba Fire had their back turned, Chelsea Green and Alba Fire had their back turned to the whole situation.
They did. The other thing, too, is you're going into this match, and now Alexa Bliss has stated that she wants to be the first ever 2-time Women's Money in the Bank winner. I know they had to replay the initial Women's Money in the Bank because of James Ellsworth, but I still consider Carmella the first ever 2 times.
Yeah, Carmella is the first ever 2 times because they had to treat it like that.
Yep.
But moving on right now, I want to we'll touch on the men's actually during the LA Knight match, but speaking of the women, I mean, I think out of the singles matches, there's only 4 matches on the card. Wow.
Yeah.
Those they're probably going to give some time to those ladder matches now that I look at it, unless there is another match that gets announced tonight. Right. That's why I didn't start my editing.
I'm not surprised that there's only 4 matches because, I mean, Backlash was only 5.
Mm-hmm.
But
and that seems to be the standard that we're going with these days for matches. Or for shows.
You've also got 2 PLEs tomorrow. And you've got some competitors pulling double duty between both shows.
Why? Who's pulling double duty?
Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes. And?
Chad
anyone else? Really? Because I'm looking
at... El Grande Americano.
El Grande Americano's got 1 match, and Chad Gable's also got 1 match tomorrow.
Okay, Bubba.
I fully actually I'm going to call it during the match tomorrow. I fully expect that we see El Grande Americano actually get unmasked in that match.
Okay.
Because the way I see it, look at who's all in there, right? We got Penta, we got Penta and Andrade, two luchadors, who could very easily target El Grande Americano and yoink the mask off of him.
And I mean, let's not forget, Andrade lost a mask versus mask match or a mask versus hair match when he initially signed with WWE.
Yeah, and that was when he was still, I think he was in AAA, I think he came from. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to say CMLL, but I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
And a very interesting name that I have heard that has been added to Worlds Collide, especially as one of the primary people in a backstage role, that being Conan.
Well, Conan works for AAA.
Yeah. But he also has his own promotion.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say Piper Niven is channeling her inner Hercules with that chain.
Right?
By the way, I don't know about you, but when I go to watch 80s wrestling and I see Hercules on the card, I'm actually pretty excited to watch him.
Right? One of the original powerhouses of our generation.
Mm-hmm. He just had a presence about him that I really, really enjoyed. Whether he was working as a heel or a babyface, I don't know. I just really enjoyed watching him. Oh God. Either way, that was going to hurt both women.
Right?
Smart move by Piper to roll out of there, and a smart move by Zelina to attempt to block it.
Right? That was beautiful. And Zelina pulling the dive onto everybody, and I don't know how smart that was on her part.
Well, so far it's looking pretty smart. I mean, she took down all three of them. But at what point do you do that and then you raise the ire of the other two that got knocked out?
Yeah. Well, and she then did put her focus on Alba Fire and took it off of Piper Niven.
Is she going to attempt a sunset flip here?
She's going to attempt Code Red.
Oh. Oh, that scared me a little bit. Hey, you called it there. You said she just raised the ire of Alba Fire there.
We've got Anthony coming in saying hello. Good evening to you, Anthony. Thank you for joining us here. We see you on YouTube. How did you find us? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So she's coming in and saying Zelina Vega must hate Disneyland. She's that small she couldn't get on the Slinky Dog ride. I mean, yeah, she is a very, very tiny woman.
What a vicious Michinoku driver on the other side, outside.
It actually looks closer to Rikishi's old pile driver maneuver. Oh, the match is still going on.
Yeah.
I forgot this was a street fight. I was like, I was waiting for the ref to ring the bell with when Alba Fire got in. Oh,
Wow. Not what I had on my bingo card.
well, like I said, okay, well, wait, though. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I may need to go back and rewatch that little backstage encounter then.
Right? I know Giulia did say at the end of it that, I like you.
Mm-hmm.
But are we going to get that stare down now? Yes, we are.
Yep, I knew it. I knew it. And here's the thing. If Giulia wins Money in the Bank, she can cash in on the U.S. Women's Champion.
She can.
Here's the other thing on that I don't like about that, though. If you win the Money in the Bank, why the hell would you cash in on the second best championship? Why not go for the best?
See, I don't ever look at it as the second best.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's considered a secondary title, but they are a lot more prevalent now. And they are, that title, as we've discussed numerous times, they are that workhorse title that's going to push you to the next level. Even if you lose it and you have to wait 6-8 months to a year to get your world title shot, you're going to get it.
But that Money in the Bank also shoots you to the moon.
It does.
You take that contract, you have a shot at the world heavyweight title. Why not go for the world heavyweight title? Bypass the Intercontinental, bypass the US title. Go for the heavyweight.
Let's not forget, we saw it a few years ago when Austin Theory tried to cash in on Seth as the US champion.
Yeah, and I didn't like it then.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So I don't mind. I would be okay if they when Otis won it, he was going to go after the tag team titles. And I am good with that because it's a change. It's different.
Well, Alistair Black laying out his path to what he's going to do to LA Knight a little later on tonight.
Next.
Still later on tonight.
You getting so technical on your 30-second differences.
Yep.
I am leaning towards next year maybe attending this.
Yeah, and if I'm going to go, because I'd like to go as well, I want to do the entire weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's what I'm thinking. It might be cheaper than going to WWE The World during WrestleMania weekend to do this.
Right.
And speaking of next year's WrestleMania, it's almost confirmed they're going back to Vegas next year.
Yes.
And I really don't like that.
I don't either. However, a new plea has come out yet again from the City of London.
You know what I've got to say to that? What happened to Vancouver trying to get a WrestleMania? They've been trying for years. I feel like it's been a long time since I've heard that city talk about it.
Right? I mean, we don't even hear Toronto mentioned in the cities for WrestleMania anymore.
Well, I mean, Toronto just had Money in the Bank last year and Elimination Chamber back in February.
March 1st.
Yeah.
But you don't hear them in the WrestleMania conversation.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but bring us a 2-night SummerSlam. Bring us a Royal Rumble.
Oh, I just thought of what a 2-night SummerSlam in Toronto would be like. Imagine doing it at the Sky Dome. The dome is open. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because that's one thing WWE has yet to do. They've done many events at the Sky Dome, but the roof has always been closed.
Yep. I've only ever attended 2 events at the Skydome / Rogers Center, WrestleMania X8 and Elimination Chamber.
I've only attended one thing ever at the Sky Dome, and that was in the opening year. I went to go see a Blue Jays game there. They took on the Milwaukee Brewers and won. And yeah, it was back in the Joe Carter, Devon White, John Olerud, Paul Molitor days. When Cito Gaston was the coach. We were a force to be reckoned with at that time. But look at how busy tomorrow's WWE schedule is, as they've got Worlds Collide at 3 p.m. 5:30 p.m. is the countdown for Money in the Bank. That leads me to believe that Worlds Collide's only going to be like a 2-hour show.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, the pay-per-view on Netflix tomorrow.
You know what, though? People can always tune into the countdown, even if Worlds Collide runs half an hour over.
Well, I'm thinking along the lines that they probably are just going to do like a 2-hour show so that they can allow enough time for fans to get from one venue to the next, or maybe even grab a bite to eat in between the events.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Stephanie Vaquer's match opens Worlds Collide so that then she can clean up and head to the Intuit Dome.
Mm-hmm. You could even do the same thing where I know her match isn't ending the show, but because I think Vikingo and Chad Gable will end the show.
Yeah.
But you could do that. Okay, we use Chad Gable and El Grande Americano. I'm going to go no kayfabe here. So you can do that with Chad Gable ending the show, and then he gets to the Intuit Dome, and he still has that time to rest because I don't think the men's Money in the Bank is opening tomorrow's show.
No, I think it's. I'm going to be honest. I think that's going to be the third match. I think Cena, Logan versus Jay and Cody is the main event.
And here's the man who is not dummy number 3, Mr. Chris Parrish. You came in right as LA Knight had said that on my screen.
Yes, I know. I said that on mine. It's kind of like we're watching the same show. Funny that.
This is going to be a hell of a match here. I've been looking forward to this one all night.
Yep, I think this is the match that steals the show tonight. And I know we said it earlier when we saw that confrontation right off the top of the show, but I keep forgetting that Solo is in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he definitely feels like the one person that if you were to replace somebody with, it would be Solo replace with somebody else. Whether
Yeah.
it's an Alistair Black, Karrion Kross,
Mello.
You know what? I'm okay. Like, I know a lot of people are butthurt about Mello not being in there, but I think it's okay because I think right now with Carmelo Hayes, he's gonna have a reset anyway with being on his own again.
Yep.
But I think that's a good thing for him, and I think just getting a little rejuvenation is actually the way to go because I don't think he needs a Money in the Bank, even though a lot of people want Mello in the bank. I think he would be better suited for something like a run with a United States title or Intercontinental title first.
Right. And I'm with you. I mean, yes, I would have loved to see Mello in there and win it, but he also just won the Andre the Giant Memorial, so you can't give him all of those accolades just like that.
Sure you can. You did it with Jey Uso.
But after how long had Jay put in being a tag division and getting himself over organically?
Well, he was still being tag champion. Then he won that, and then all of a sudden you're in the biggest angle in pro wrestling for how many years that helped elevate you. So
yeah,
I think one of the accomplishments that gets lost in the shuffle is that Jey Uso won an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Because
and I don't remember that one.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
No. But I mean that's just it though. Like I think there's more of a curse on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle winner. So if I was anybody, I'd be like, I'm okay not winning it. Let's look at the history, right? Cesaro, not there. Braun Strowman, not there. Big Show, not there.
Not there.
Oh yeah. Who else? Who else has won it?
Baron Corbin.
Not there.
What
a great record that has.
Yeah. Who was it that Gronk helped win?
Exactly.
Mojo Rawley? Not there.
Matt Hardy, not there.
No, but he's had a career, so
yeah. I mean, he was already well established when he won, so
yeah.
But I mean, no. But again, same thing, right? Like Cesaro's been Ring of Honor champion. Braun Strowman has been Universal champion since then. I mean, they fall.
Here's an Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner we probably all forgot one. Madcap Moss.
Oh, I didn't. Stole my finisher. Also, not there. So is Mello the only winner with Jey Uso that's still there?
No, Bronson Reed.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he won 2 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
But unless you've won it in the last, 3 years, you ain't there.
Right. Well, before Bronson was Bobby Lashley, and he's not there.
So. All right, LA Knight, I have to say, nice new color scheme on your trunks. Perhaps you needed boots to match it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pete coming in, wishing you a good evening, Mr. Parrish.
Hello, Pete. How are you doing? I hope it all is well. I can honestly say I miss you, man.
Best and I were saying how much we appreciate and enjoy these new graphics that they're putting up, sort of keeping the match in the middle with the photos on the outside.
Yeah, it's always nice to see kind of something updated, or seeing that, hey, we got an idea as a viewer that we'd probably like, and then you tell your friends and you're like, yeah. And then you also see the company do that. Shows that they're in a different creative state than they used to be. They're taking full advantage of the tools that they have. It was funny. I was thinking about Alistair Black this morning in the sense of he's somebody who you put him in the White Six, it makes sense. You put him in the Judgment Day, it makes sense. You could put him, weirdly enough, in American Made, and he has that connection because Chad Gable was given his school to go to for help against the Luchadors.
Yeah.
So there's that connection. You can also look at whatever Seth Rollins is doing. That still could work. He is a very versatile hand.
You could align him with Karrion Kross.
That's why I wouldn't have been too opposed if the Final Testament were still around when he came in. I wouldn't have been too opposed if he joined them.
I would have had him replace Karrion Kross, thus turning Karrion Kross babyface and giving Karrion Kross a real feud to go with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's going to interrupt Tiffany Stratton tonight?
I said Nia Jax.
I am going to go with that is what's going to kick off the women's six-man tag, and I'm going to go with Roxanne Perez.
How about Jade Cargill?
I would be fine by that.
Or,
Jade doesn't have anything tomorrow night, so.
Or even Charlotte? And we can maybe look towards maybe doing a triple threat? You can also add a Nia to that and make it a four-way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you well, here's the thing: if you have Nia Jax, you can then have Naomi hit her from behind and just say, in just a few days, it'll be with a cash-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that could start your 6-woman tag match as Naomi's in that.
Yeah.
So who are your two? What's up, Bubba? Who are your two picks for the two ladder matches tomorrow?
Giulia for the women's and LA Knight for the men's.
I am Alexa Bliss on the women's. And for the men's, I'm going to go with the guy I thought should have been in it last year and had him winning it. I'm going to take Andrade.
Pete coming in saying Naomi and Seth. I do have Naomi for the women's. And I also have LA Knight for the men's, as I even said this a few weeks back. I feel he needs it more than anybody right now. I would love to see somebody come in and basically put a screw job to Seth Rollins. He could like Pepsi. He could also used to play in the CFL. I don't know. I'm just saying. One of those two would be okay with.
Well, Seth Rollins did make quite a few enemies tonight.
Yes, he did. And
that's who I was referring to, Pete, with the CFL, as Roman Reigns used to play in the Canadian Football League.
He did. As did Dwayne.
Yes, but nobody's.
We're not talking about him right now.
You're bringing up Dwayne Johnson, huh? Your favorite wrestler of all the time. I mean, it is in Hollywood, so you never know.
Now, I already asked this to Best, and based off of what we saw in the opening segment of the show, and then towards the end of the first match, I believe there are 3 matches that we are going to see within this calendar year, if not 4. Which one do you want to see first? Fatu and JC, Fatu and Solo, or Fatu and Braun Breaker?
I want to see Fatu and Solo because they have the story. If you can give me a story with the other two, 100% I'll go with it. But right now, the stories with Solo, that is what I want to see. I want to see Jacob Fatu and Solo finish that chapter so we can see where both men go next.
Did you catch any of the opening segment at all, Parrish, or?
You know what I was paying attention to on my ride home. It was not SmackDown. So no, I did not.
Okay.
Please enlighten me.
There was actually a tease before Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker in a segment. Seth Rollins came out with his gang, started talking about how he's going to win the Money in the Bank. Tease Roman even showing up to cost him the match, to which he very overconfidently said Roman was not going to show up. Then Solo and Jacob Fatu and JC made their presence felt.
Sense. Solo's also in the match.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu was always rumored to be somebody that could have been in this group.
But as Solo and Seth were taking their jackets off, Braun stepped in front of Seth, and then Jacob stepped in front of Solo. And neither of them took their eyes off each other.
I'll say this. I believe both men wanted. At the end of the day, I do think both Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu rather have the spotlight on them than on Seth Rollins or Solo Sikoa. I think it's just a matter of time where we see Braun Breaker do the Batista and break away. Now, I don't think it's going to be hot shotted fast. I think it's going to be a good little burn.
Right.
But he needs to be that guy because I think a lot of people look at Braun Breaker as being that babyface breakout mega star for the WWE. Not to mention Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed as a big time feud over the title in a few years. That's going to work.
They even slightly hinted at JC and Bronson Reed having a match somewhere down the line as well.
Yep. And I do believe at some point this year we are going to see as well Jacob Fatu versus Bronson Reed.
You know who's one name that I want to see get into this all because I think he can be a major player in this, and that is current NXT champion Oba Femi.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him mix it up with these big boys.
Yeah.
Because if it's not what he's been doing in NXT lately, watch him on Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workout. His cheat meal, burgers and alcohol. My kind of guy. Does he have a preference? Whatever gets me there. My kind of answer. Even Sheamus asked me, are you sure you're not Irish? Oh.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Seth Rollins coming in and costing LA Knight the match.
This would be a match I'd be interested in seeing. That would be a good little war of words, too, between Seth and LA Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's waiting for someone.
Oh.
The House of Black. That was a very clean spear.
Now, this is very obviously Seth trying to assert his dominance over the 5 other men in the Money in the Bank by sending a message to everybody with this attack.
What this also does is create that heel heat that they need. And you remember the Bloodline when they used to do this all the time. And then Solo, when he was leading the charge, they would also do this a lot. It seems like this is an MO maybe constructed by the one person who's behind, who could have been behind it all. That is Paul Heyman. But I see similarities on the way that they like to take out everyone at odds.
Yep.
Did you guys hear the news that dropped about Braun Breaker?
No.
As early as next week, per WWE, he will be getting a new theme composed by the band Limp Bizkit.
Interesting.
Running into the show and still breaking the news. Did it all for the breaker. Yeah.
Well, how about the breaking news we're getting on our screen right now? The King and Queen of the Ring tournament will be taking place at Night of Champions.
What did I tell you all? Didn't I not say that like months ago?
Probably. I don't remember.
Talking King and Queen of the Ring, and there's a guy right there. Tell me, ain't that going to happen this year?
No, that was me.
Yeah, I never said that.
That's why I pointed to you. That's why I moved my finger.
You're pointing at best. At best.
No, I'm pointing at you. On my
I'm
screen,
on this.
I'm going to direct the point.
Do you want me to take a photo and send it to you?
No, you're good.
No, I'm doing it. No. There we go.
Yes, child.
There. Do you see that? See where you are? See where I'm pointing?
Yeah, that's weird because on ours you were pointing towards me, so I was directing the point towards
Yeah.
OMD.
Hey Jade, who are you trying to impress right now, man? just point a note. I mean, I kind of called this segment in a weird ass way too. I just thought it'd be in the ring. Oh,
But maybe that's where it continues with Nia Jax coming out.
Okay, and while we get this little rundown, it is time for the patented locker room visit.
Yay! Ad read, ad read, ad read, ad read. Take yourself off the screen, bro. There we go. Woohoo! All right, everyone. If you want to take a little trip all the way over to the locker room, you will find OMD with his pants all the way down. Why? Because he sits when he pees. Isn't that weird? I think it's a little weird. He says he's really reading the news and pooing, but we all know that he squats like a weird man. But you don't have to squat. You can run in the wild as you go to carlcarafel.redbubble.com to get all the latest, all the beautiful merchandise that Turnbuckle Studio presents to you. Just like this locker room visit, you can get a t-shirt. You can get maybe a, I don't know, one of those potty funnels that OMD probably has right in his toilet that he's sitting down on right now. Going number one, because that just wouldn't be but that's just weird. Let's just be honest. That's just weird. But what's not weird? It's carlcarafel.redbubble.com, because that is where you get all the beautiful stuff that you can get, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's sweatshirts, whether it's accessories, whether it's stickers. You can get it all at carlcarafel.redbubble.com. Go there now. Help the show, help the broadcast, and you never know. You might be able to afford OMD some potty training exercises, because we all know, just like his Leafs, he needs all the assistance humanly possible. Remember, carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
Well read, Parrish.
Look at that! Look at that timing.
Luke Luck.
Look at that timing. You don't listen to those, do you?
No.
Even better. I just advertised carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
I know you did, as well as you put up the graphic for the locker room visit. And...
Yeah.
But yes, Pete, sad news about Ric Flair. He has been diagnosed for the second time in under 3 years with skin cancer. So speedy recovery to Rick.
Yeah. And the one thing I will ask everyone to do is, whether or not you like Ric Flair, you dislike Ric Flair, you have opinions about what he says on social media or the general public, please respect that this is a human being with health issues right now. Mm-hmm. He does have a daughter. He does have a family. Please respect their privacy and do not bother them in any way. Just send all the good wishes. And if there's a chance to help them and you want to, please do so in a proper, respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Oh, it's a book.
Yeah. It's a matter of time before they make it a documentary.
I'm actually surprised that they haven't made a biopic on Mike Tyson's career. And I guarantee now that I put that out, somebody's going to do it.
Well, it's actually funny because there has been talks about it. It just hasn't come to light.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as we talk about Worlds collide tomorrow. Remember, this is WWE and NXT, but it also brings the inclusion of TNA. And there is nobody better to talk about the inclusion of TNA than our very own TNA expert, the host of Brace for Impact, Bubba Duke.
What's going on, brother?
What's up?
Yeah, we have a lot of going on, especially tonight, within half an hour. TNA's big pay-per-view is tonight, which apparently is being shown on their YouTube channel. I just got a notification for it, so we'll see.
That's probably for their countdown show, Bubba.
It very well could be.
It is
Oh, we
the
got the
countdown.
creeds.
It is the countdown show.
It is the countdown. Yeah, it says right here too. Yeah, countdown show against all odds.
Now, did you guys hear about the selfless deed that Chad Gable did for El Grande Americano on Monday?
No, do tell.
Well, if you notice, there was a CG on El Grande Americano's gear, and a lot of people absolutely rushed to conclusion. But Chad Gable very eloquently said, look, El Grande Americano lost his gear and needed boots. I just gave him mine. He may have stretched them out a little bit, but what a great guy Chad Gable is.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, just give me Ray Phoenix in this, please. Please.
Right?
Just do it. Just do it.
I mean, there's a good tag team. Andrade and Penta. Oh my goodness.
It's almost like they've known each other from somewhere else.
Yeah, right?
It's Tiffy time. There you go. Now, is there any titles on the line tomorrow night?
No.
The Women's Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Just that
Yeah.
title? Okay. I wasn't sure if they had like Tiffy doing something or men's champion doing something.
Well, John Cena's in a tag match. He's not defending the championship, but he is tagging with Logan Paul, going up against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes.
And Cody. But so there's only the one title on the line, though, being the Intercontinental title. Okay.
Yeah, and then Jey Uso also being in the tag match, but he also is defending his title next night on Raw against Gunther.
Okay. Okay. I thought that might have been. Who's interrupting Tiffy? Everybody.
Well, that was a point of discussion earlier, and I did say Jade Cargill and perhaps Charlotte, as we had Nia Jax, Roxanne Perez being discussed, basically a lead to the potential 6-woman tag match that we're going to be getting. I also pointed out perhaps we get Nia and Naomi taking her out, saying just in a few days this could be for your championship. And then that could start the tag match. But in a backstage segment, we did see Jade Cargill and Charlotte in a segment where Tiffany Stratton came in. So
okay. I come in just after that. Whoa, what time is it? It is mommy time. Did you hear that pop? Holy.
well, we didn't go with the obvious, did we, guys?
No, because I don't think, well, none of us have mommy winning the Money in the Bank, and I think that we picked women that are
in that match.
Well, Rhea's in the match too, but
is she? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember, she defeated. That was the match where we
Right.
saw the injury to Zoe Stark,
Right.
and we saw the return to Kairi Sane in that. And that was that triple threat.
I thought Rhea was signed to Raw.
She is, but all the women are in the Money in the Bank match. All participants are at SmackDown.
yeah, every Money in the Bank participant from both the men's and women's are in the arena tonight.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
It is what Nick Aldis dropped on his socials earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get Nick on my socials. I don't have him yet.
Does Rhea's Vest say Brutality Tour 2024? Yep.
Whoa. Oh, this is
Stephanie Vaquer.
yeah. Oh. Whoa, what an entrant. That was cool.
As I am sure we are going to get all 7 women out here as we get ready for the 6-woman tag team match.
Yeah, that's definitely where this whole segment's going.
Now, it's interesting that the only champion, the women's champion in there, is only Tiffany Stratton. There is no visual of Io Sky, the women's world champion.
Is this just another incident where they're kind of doing the pie face to Io, though?
No, I think this could be a foreshadow that the winner could be. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it could be a foreshadow that Tiffany gets cashed in, but it's also kind of ironic because the 2 current champions, one was won fairly in a match, the other one was through a cash in. So it does blend together.
It's going to be a good match. Oh, that's the next pay-per-view. Cool.
NXT Great American Bash, July 12th.
Just last time I watched a Great American Bash, it was WCW.
Well, WWE has done a lot.
Yep.
At one point, it was just called the Bash, and then it went to
Oh,
Great
maybe
American
that's
Bash.
why.
Well, it was Great American Bash, then it went to the Bash, and then NXT started kind of
NXT took it over and
and then instead of
reinvigorated the
takeovers,
name. Cool.
yeah, once they kind of dropped the takeover, they started adapting older previous pay-per-view names that are now PLE.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is super cool. Again, I'm just kind of reintroducing myself to the whole NXT stuff because I never really got a chance to watch a lot of it before it was on Netflix.
So how much of the show have you seen, Bubba?
Literally when I came on.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I was watching the game and hanging out with the kid.
Nice.
And she crawled into, I got her a little tent that she could put up in the house.
Right.
And she crawled in there and was watching the game through the screen. And she passed out.
Nice.
So I thought, forget it. I'm going to come down here and hang out with the boys for a little bit.
Yeah.
Before I scoot off the bed.
Yeah. How is she doing anyways, brother?
She's got a bit of a cold, but other than that, she's phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hate to interrupt you guys, but since we have about a minute, if you guys want to check out to see what's going on with Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, let's give you a visual. Because nothing's better than a great visual, especially with the week that Turnbuckle Studios has. Check out what Turnbuckle Studios offers to you.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we got total non-stop action with Brace for Impact at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the Smackdown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And that is what we have going on every week with Turnbuckle Studios. Also, we do want to add that sometimes you'll get additional content like PLE patrols. So always keep a lookout for that. And you can always find that information live on turnbucklestudio.org, the official website to the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, where you can meet every single person a part of it. You can check out their latest show, and you can also find a contact in case you have any additional questions or inquiries about Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. So if you want more answers, go to turnbucklestudios.org. Now, what were you going to say, Bess?
I was going to say, tomorrow night there will be a PLE patrol for Money in the Bank. But on a programming note, there will not be one for Worlds Collide.
I thought we were having a match.
We are
We
having
are.
a
It's
match.
a 6-woman tag.
Oh, 6-woman. So I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, it has all the contestants and the women's Money in the Bank. So it's Roxanne, Giulia, Naomi against Stephanie, Alexa, and Rhea.
Oof. The dark side against the Jedi, apparently. Yeah, this should be a heck of a match, though.
Oh, yeah. So, Bubba, who are your picks as we've answered these for the Money in the Bank ladder matches tomorrow night?
I never really thought about it, but I'm gonna pick. I got to think about it really, because I mean, there's so much talent and so many possibilities. Throw it out there, Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
And for the men, probably a long shot, but LA Knight. I have that same feeling that Parrish has.
That's the general consensus for.
Oh, is it?
Money in
You
the
guys
Bank.
are like, yeah.
Except for OMD.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be different. Why not?
Well, I mean, it is the Money in the Bank. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
I mean, did anybody have Damian Sandow on their punch card?
Right?
No.
Did anybody have Baron Corbin on their punch card? Even Kane, the year that he won.
Right?
I just think LA needs that push. It would be nice to see him get that push. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, that one could go any way because there's so much talent in that match.
I think one name to definitely keep an eye on in the women's as we start off with Giulia versus Stephanie Vaquer. What a way to start off this match. But it is I will say Stephanie Vaquer. She is definitely someone I think to keep your eye on in this match.
Mm-hmm.
She is. I'm a little bit worried for her because she is pulling double duty tomorrow with the match at Worlds Collide as well.
Why? 2 matches in one night? Pfft, they're professionals.
Oh, yeah, she's got it.
They got this.
Plus, she's going to have longer than like a 1 hour break in between matches as well.
I know. We were discussing that earlier.
You got an hour? Come on. This is easy. Walk in the park.
These two have faced each other quite a bit back in NXT, right? Yeah.
They were best friends, so they worked together a lot as a tag team. I think they only had one official one-on-one match.
Yeah, they had the one match for both championships where Stephanie became double champion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, is she going to use her own? Oh.
She attempted to.
What a counter.
That was awesome. Oh, yeah. Here we go. What was that?
A face buster from Rhea?
Alexa Bliss is just surfboard riding over there.
And Rhea is paying homage to Razor Ramon with the slaps to the back of the head.
Yep.
Yo, chica.
You're right.
I mean, they do have the same initials.
Right?
Yeah. Oh. The only thing that throws me off about Naomi is she's still wearing those glow shoes.
I was gonna say something about that too, Bubba, but
I mean, if they were both red to match the outfit, I wouldn't
they
have an
were
issue with it.
they were both red earlier, but they changed color throughout the show or
Oh,
throughout the
have
match.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, I only caught the blue. Yeah, it still throws me off because she's not doing the whole glow thing anymore. So,
But at the
I
same
feel it
time,
could go.
it's kind of like her doing what John Cena did. John Cena didn't change anything when he turned heel.
Yeah.
But she has.
Yeah, he has. He doesn't have a Titantron.
Yeah, that's about it. But theme song and everything else about him stays the same.
He doesn't run to the ring anymore.
Doesn't talk to Stu.
Yeah,
Doesn't give his towel to the kids.
Good try, Best. Good try. They kind of that whole thought.
He does very subtle things.
Mm-hmm.
See, but what I'm saying though is that she's changed so much, so drastically, that to leave one thing just feels like it's unfinished.
Well, I mean,
If you look at her entire outfit, though, with the exception of the caution tape, it still resembles her with her glow gimmick.
Yep.
Oh, what an elbow! Jesus. Whoa. Oh. Wow. That's pretty intense. Oh, I thought SmackDown was commercial. You went to a commercial. I guess they
Well,
don't do that all the time.
Not during a match.
Well, I mean, SmackDown in the US airs on the USA Network, so they do get commercial breaks.
Wow.
Based off of what we saw earlier, Best, do we maybe get some interference?
That's what I was thinking about, but I think Giulia kind of laid quite the beating on her. For the Parrish, do you want to be enlightened, Bubba? Do you want to be enlightened on what happened?
well, I'm aware of what happened.
Okay. So, Zelina Vega had a match against Piper Niven. It was a Bakersfield brawl, no disqualification. Zelina pulled off the win with the help of Giulia, but then Giulia turned and attacked Zelina Vega.
Oh, wow. I guess we know who Zelina Vega is going against next. Whoa, what a roll up.
Which to me, it also opens up, like, even though I'm not a big fan of the Money in the Bank going after secondary titles,
Yeah.
it does open up that opportunity should Giulia win tomorrow night.
I mean,
Or
who's to
for
say
any
that
of
they
them,
can't,
really.
though?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, did Austin Theory not win the U.S. title after he won Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
So this might not be a cash-in on a secondary title. It could just be a time stop if she is to win it and then still go after a championship. And then she could just say, I want to be a double champion.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true, too.
I
that's always an
believe
option.
when Theory won Money in the Bank, he was the U.S. champion at the time. He then did attempt at the end to cash in on Seth Rollins for the U.S. championship and then won it again afterwards, after that failed cash in.
Oh, man. Crowd's trying to chant, "We want mommy." Trying to. Didn't work very well. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Bliss wins this thing tomorrow. To be honest with you.
She's my pick to win.
I just don't know, because Rhea just, when she gets determined to win something, she wins it.
I was saying to Best earlier, though, too, I think that we're going to see the 6-woman spot where the other 5 pick her up and try to put her through the table.
Here we go. Whoa, what a kick. Holy.
And Best, or OMD, sorry, I'm going to correct you. Austin Theory did not win the Money in the Bank as United States champion.
Okay.
He lost the championship earlier that night to Bobby Lashley.
Oh, geez. Okay. I mean, that's one way to do it.
And then he won it back after he won Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because that was all a part of that whole. And to me, it was a really long feud, but between the whole thing between Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley trading back the U.S. title for like the rest of the year, basically, it felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, Razor's Edge. So I have a question. Is that a move that she's asked Razor to use, or she does it in honor of him?
That's normally a move that we see Damian Priest use.
Yeah.
And
Damian got Scott's permission to use it because Scott Hall was his favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, I think this is just more of hey, look at the commonness between Damian and Rhea. They've used each other's moves in the past because they're really good friends. And at one point, they were called the Terror Twins.
No, I get that. I was just, jeez, what a DDT.
Spiked that one.
Even Sheamus has used it, calling it the Celtic Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not too many people say Razor's Edge. Like,
no, Damian Priest still calls it the Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
No, I get that. That's why I was like, did they get permission, or did they literally just do it because they love Razor?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Damian Priest actually did not get permission. He's admitted that in a thing. He does it out of tribute.
Out of tribute?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, I love that they still call it the Razor's Edge.
I've seen it said that he did seek out Scott before.
No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're done. Holy. Did not see that coming, guys. That was crazy. Holy. can't blame Naomi for that. I can't.
Can't blame any of the women for that because all throughout that match, she was being a really
Yep.
boastful and really showboaty, you know.
Right?
The only thing I'm surprised is that they gave the match to Rhea Ripley. Now, I can understand why. I can understand the logic. But I'm going to also throw other logic out there, and that is you could say both Alexa Bliss and Stephanie Vaquer needed this win too, as Stephanie Vaquer is new to the main roster, as she's still completing her first week on that main roster. And then Alexa Bliss would just have that statement to then push her odds a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Wow. All these gentlemen are going to be in the ring tonight. Okay.
Oh yeah. If it's going to be anything like last week, it's going to break down into a bit of anarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on here? That's when I wish Jacob was behind that light rack.
He just might be.
Oh, no kidding. All gas and no brain, the Samoan man says. Yeah, we'll see.
That was very reminiscent of Triple H and Ric Flair with Batista.
Yep.
And we have Damage Control and Bailey.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I just can't believe I was right about something.
Neither can we.
That was awesome. Trying to see if
So with tensions at an all-time high, especially leading into this men's Money in the Bank match where we are anticipating either CM Punk or Roman Reigns or both. Now we've just had this, and we've got this budding feud between Fatu and Solo. Could we see, I mean, the match is already going to be chaos. Could we see it really break down and see a surprise entry randomly show up, go up and grab it like we saw a few years ago with Brock Lesnar?
No.
I didn't like it then. I don't like it now.
And Brock Lesnar wasn't an additional thing. I believe somebody was out of the match, and he was the replacement.
I don't think we're going to see Brock Lesnar in WWE.
No, we won't.
Again.
I believe we will.
I think we will too.
You think so?
It's just a matter of when.
I mean, him and Trips were pretty good friends, no? Like, they weren't best friends, but there's a mutual respect there.
It has nothing to do with that.
No.
No? What do you, where?
There's a lawsuit that has been going on.
Well, that has a lot to do why he's not coming back right now.
That has everything to do to why he's not there.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Plus, have you noticed his daughter's is absolutely killing it with the shot.
Oh,
put.
she's
His
a
son just got
tank.
drafted in the Western Hockey League.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be a dad too, man.
Why? I'm confused.
Don't be. 2 + 2 is 4. It's been that way for the entirety of time.
No, I'm just confused because if this is the opening thing before the show starts, they put the
Hey, focus. We're doing SmackDown.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's pledging allegiance to Miss Green. Oh no! What is going on? Whoa, that was deep. This is awesome. Holy cow. Who gets the wides first, boys?
DIY.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that's where I figure it's going to go first.
Part of me expected that out of that segment.
Yeah. That's so awesome that Worlds Collide starts at 3. And then right after that, pretty much, is Money in the Bank. Oh, wow. I like how they call him Psycho. It's actually Psycho Clown. Is how they say it in Mexico.
I thought they changed it for WWE because I thought it was Murder Clown.
Psycho Clown. He was Murder Clown, and then he went to Psycho Clown, and now I guess they have to pronounce it in English as Psycho. But either way, it's going to be a phenomenal match. This is going to be another great match.
LWO's L spelled backwards. I just figured that out.
I thought I saw the other day that they took is it Joaquin Wilder, Cruz del Toro out of the 6-man.
You saw wrong. And you guys both saw wrong on Psycho Clown, too. He's always been Psycho Clown.
Oh, that must have been a guy that looked like him when as Killer Clown.
Actually, on NXT, they did have someone come in the case he couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they played that one a little bit. If he can go, he's in. If not, there was a replacement.
Okay. Wouldn't it be crazy if Roxanne ends up winning that? Taking it back to the Judgment Day, and then the two ladies there can't say shit to her.
I was so torn between her and Alexa winning.
Well, that's why, too. If I think if Roxanne Perez does win.
And as of right now, Lince Dorado is scheduled to be in that tag match.
Oh, Lince Dorado. That's interesting.
He was the one who is replacing Cruz del Toro if he can't make it.
Okay, cool.
So it's kind of like game time decision
or sorry, not Cruz del Toro, but the other guy.
Joaquin. It's game time decision essentially, right?
I think so. Because it was the health scare, but I do believe the concussion protocol is going in there. He has to be cleared.
So it's like a.
I think he has to be cleared.
Protocol.
If he passes the physical and the doctors clear him, he'll go. But if not, I do believe that, yeah.
Then the other guy's at least ready to go.
Yeah.
In his spot, not just the last minute.
Okay, but if in any case, if Walking Wild doesn't make it, it'll be nice to see Lince Dorado again.
As long as we don't hear the Lucha house party music, we're good.
Oh, dude, I would love to.
Me too.
Wasn't Lince Dorado now TNA?
I think so. I know he spent some time there.
He did a couple of matches. Same with AEW, Ring of Honor, but I believe he's pretty much exclusive to Mexico now.
Oh. Lince Dorado is currently signed to the WWE as a coach for NXT.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know that. But
I can't
What I
wait to
do-
see how. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say what I do know is that this is going to be a hell of a tag team match here.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I can't wait to see how Penta and Andrade
Coexist.
work together and how that's gonna unfold
Well,
because they do have history.
yeah, but here's something that I think we're gonna see. I think Chad Gable's gonna get involved. I think we're gonna see Vikingo get involved.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if we get teased with a Penta and Ray Phoenix moment.
Just to see how that's gonna go with the crowd.
Just
Kinda
a
thing?
moment, not anything else, but just a tease. Because we all know, if you're a wrestling fan, you just know. They haven't done anything together yet in WWE. It was well rumored that that was the intention and the original plan. However, things changed. So
Yes.
it'd be very intriguing and interesting if they were to somehow foreshadow or give us a little tease on the possibility of the Lucha Brothers connecting, because we have heard the term Lucha Bros on WWE before.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not opposed to that. Get a little, like you said, a little tease in there, just to see how the crowd is going to react to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. Definitely, I could get behind that. Is that something you want them just to kind of throw together, like throw them? Okay, they're a tag team now, or you want it kind of more organic to have them come together and maybe
want
have a
them to-
couple matches to.
I just want the tease.
Mm.
I think a
No,
tease
I'm
is
not
all-
talking
all
right
you
now,
need.
but
Yeah.
later.
No, long term, the story.
Just whatever makes sense. If it
Yeah.
works better that they end up being aligned, okay. But right now, I do look as Penta being very competent and able to be a single star. In fact, he might be one of the top baby faces on Raw. The question is, I don't know if I personally see Ray Phoenix the same way on SmackDown.
Not as of yet. I wouldn't say no. Not yet.
So
Right.
I think you got to kind of understand the situation, but also at the
Mhm.
same time, why not throw the possibility of them together with the alignment and this acquirement of AAA, knowing that these
Okay.
two together could very well be one of the best home runs that you can have when doing these merge shows that they're doing tomorrow
Yes.
with Worlds Collide.
Now, could we see? And I do believe that Ethan Page is going to lose the NXT North American Championship tomorrow. Do we see that being Ray Phoenix winning?
No. Because I'm opposite of you. I see him retaining. So
Okay.
that's why I'm saying no. I don't see Ray Phoenix winning because I don't think Ray Phoenix is going to go to NXT. Therefore, I don't see why he would win an NXT championship.
But I'm certain we've said the same thing about Dom, and then he won the NXT North American title.
Yeah, but he also brought that on the main roster, and
Yeah,
is-
who's to say Ray Phoenix can't do the same thing?
nobody can. But it was a way to get him heat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like honestly, what does that do for both parties? Like I'm sure it's capable. It just doesn't. It really just doesn't make long-term sense when you should just have more plans for Ray Phoenix on SmackDown.
Well, there's Vikingo in the crowd right now.
So if El Grande Americano by some miracle wins the Money in the Bank, do we see him cash in on Vikingo for the title? Or if Chad Gable beats Vikingo, can we see El Grande Americano cash in on Gable?
I don't know if the AAA titles are involved in this right now.
Well, they are owned by WWE now, and thus they can be.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't know if Money in the Bank involves NXT.
Yeah.
Okay, when was the last time a Money in the Bank has been used on an NXT title?
I think they teased it once or twice, but they never cashed in.
I was going to say Charlotte, but no, she won the Royal Rumble and chose to challenge for the NXT title.
Mm-hmm. And I do believe the Royal Rumble has a greater power than the Money in the Bank contract.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Okay, I must have missed something. Where's Penta?
He's on the
Oh,
outside.
He's
there
right
he is.
there. He was just taking a minute. All right. These poor guys haven't been able to get off the ground to get any momentum, nothing. Oh, here we go.
Now, I'll say this. Wouldn't this matchup make a little bit more sense that instead of Chad Gable being in that spot, you had El Grande Americano team up with the Creeds, and you could have Penta, Ray Phoenix, and
Right.
Andrade? That's
Right.
Well, that's where I thought that backstage segment was going.
Yeah.
but
because
if
of the
we
issues that
if we see El
Penta
Grande
segment?
Americano help American Made or the Creed brothers win this match, that might actually be something.
right. Oh, geez. Holy. That right there just shows you the power of these American made, the Creed brother. He just tossed Andrade, picked him up from the top rope and tossed him.
Dare I say it, the Creed brothers are kind of like the modern day Steiner brothers.
Yep.
You could say that, dude. I have no problem with that at all. Just pure raw power, these two young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Holy.
With a tremendous amount of agility, too.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Steiners had that too, to a certain degree.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But not like these guys. My goodness. And I think what pays off for brothers is the gentleman that is in their corner, to be honest. Chad Gable, with his experience in the business, mentoring these two guys, like you couldn't ask for a better mentor, to be honest.
Well, Chad Gable did mentor Sami Zayn to an Intercontinental Championship win at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah, with the way they're subtly building up the Raw tag team division, I'm gonna say maybe it's quite possible that by the end of the year we see the Creed brothers with the tag titles around their waist.
I mean, I would have preferred them to be the team that took it off of the War Raiders, but that's just me.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why you couldn't have made that match a WrestleMania triple threat, but that's, again, just me.
Yeah, we're not the guys booking, right? I'm not going to argue that fact, Mr. Best. I would like to see them, even before the end of the year, be the tag team champions. Wow.
I do think they should have a tag team Money in the Bank as well.
I mean, if Royal Rumble ever moves to 2 nights, then give me a tag team Royal Rumble match.
Oh, dude, that'd be epic.
15 teams, 30 men. Come on, you can do
Mhm.
it. You have the roster size now. And no, I'm only doing one for the men's because you don't have that many women's tag teams.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're correct. But what a way to throw just a couple of tag teams together, though. You and you go, and then see how good they do.
Well, I think that's kind of been the critique of the tag division in a while, is that there's been a lot of put together tag teams that they use instead of actual tag teams.
Instead,
Yeah.
and that's become an issue. Whoa. Oh, here comes Penta.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised Penta isn't wearing blue that he's on SmackDown, that he's wearing nothing but the Raw colors.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh! Well, I mean, wow.
They got to do something to spice their match up for tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon.
And that match is for the Mega Championship, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The AAA Mega Championship.
God, I wish I could watch that. But I'll be with my kid.
It'll be on YouTube to watch later on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Penta with the win. Sweet. And Andrade just picks him up.
Electric chair.
Well, that would have been funny. It's not gonna lie, but no, there's too much respect there.
We'll say no to Mr. As the O in OMD stands for overbooked. But we do have a visionary.
A revolutionary.
Well, he's been taking out everybody else who's involved in the Money in the Bank match, with the exception of Solo.
No, I have a feeling that Jacob Fatu is going to be the reason why Solo doesn't win Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, is this maybe where we see Ray Phoenix come out to even up the odds, even though it really wouldn't be much of a evening up?
You need the Big Show or Andre the Giant to come out to even this up a bit. Like, let's be real.
I'd put Penna straight up against Braun. Why wouldn't you? I could put Andrade up against Bronson. I'm sorry, but what titles have Bronson won? That's made him like so like.
Uh-oh. Oh my God. Such a devastating spear. Oh my God. Stomp attempt. I mean, if you're that scared about losing, this is what you got to do.
I don't know if it's so much that he's scared about losing. I think he wants to just increase.
No,
his
he wants a
odds of winning.
definitive win. I get it.
I don't know if he wants to defend him. I think he just wants to win.
Jesus. Okay, what are the officials going to do? You're not getting in that ring. Sorry, don't have it.
Nope.
No, just no. I like my body the way it is and not flattened by a tsunami. Thank you. Just no. So who's left in that match that he has not taken out? Other than,
Solo.
I mean, you said Solo. That was it.
Solo.
Just Solo.
Yeah. It's taking out LA Knight. It's taking out Andrade. It's taking out Penta. He is number 4. We got Solo, who's number 5. Do you know who the number 6 is?
Seth Rollins, no?
I'm gonna have beer.
And while Parrish is having the beer, Bubba, you might as well visit Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. But he hasn't taken them out yet. So there's still
Because
El
he
Grande
hasn't
Americano
been on
and-
SmackDown. Because
Yeah, El Grande
Grande
Americano's not there. So can't wait for these updated graphics for SmackDown, huh? They'll play Naomi with the glow character. That's no more.
Yeah.
Austin
Right.
Theory, he's on Raw. Roman Reigns, he's not on SmackDown anymore.
And The Rock has maybe showed up, once or twice to SmackDown?
I think the only time
He's
showed
been
up
there,
to
though.
SmackDown this year is when he said WrestleMania's going to New Orleans, and then they're like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the time that he tried to get Cody to buy or to sell his soul. He tried to get Cody to sell his soul.
Yeah.
And well, we also got Jey Uso, who's definitely not on.
Neither is Io Sky.
is Miss Cargill. Whoa.
I think that Bronson's just wearing Seth's tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you get that?
No. Hmm.
Seth's reaction is priceless.
Yeah, he looks very impressed.
Oh, just watching this amazing segment that we've got going on right now.
Well, even if we said Bret Hart would probably hate it anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, he'd rate it 4 out of 10.
Yeah. We have Jey Uso coming down. He's going to eat probably for the remainder of the show.
Mm-hmm. But Seth and his buddies are backing off by the looks of it.
Well, they know that John Cena and Logan Paul are coming up. And I don't know if they want to get involved with that. However, maybe Seth Rollins will keep an eye out because both champions would be in the ring. And in just 24 hours, he'll be competing for a chance to be able to cash in on one of those champions. So could we see a little foreshadow there?
I could
It's
see
very,
him,
very
like,
possible.
sticking around to keep an eye on this. Not in the ring, though, but, like, off the side somewhere, maybe. So,
Could this be-
keep an eye.
Could this be a scenario where maybe Seth and his group try to go after Jey Uso, and then everyone they attacked come out and beat up the group?
Wow,
10
right?
SmackDown.
Can you imagine? I wouldn't be opposed to something like that. That'd be complete anarchy. But I mean, Seth Rollins is on a roll for beating people up tonight, so why not?
Now, there isn't any confirmation, but there are rumors that one of the names being discussed to call Worlds Collide tomorrow is Mike Tenay.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yes, it was discussed that they are not going forward with it. From everything I have read.
I just heard about it. I didn't.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet.
I didn't put much stock in it. Yeah. It was one of those things that I seen it, I read it, I went, oh, they're just talking about it and thinking about having them. Okay, well, I'll believe it when when it happens.
Well, I think that if it's something that is to happen, we will see it. But until then, it's, who knows?
It's speculation.
The one thing we do know is that until somebody within the company flat out says no, anything you read on the internet may or may not have legs to the actual truth.
Yeah.
Because we know that since the TKO merger and since the new ownership, it has been a lot harder to gauge actual backstage information.
Yes.
Right. But at the same time, how cool would that be if he did?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
So as we have a reunion of a former tag team champions, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in the ring.
I forgot about that.
No, on the flip side, for the Spanish announcers, how cool would it be if it was Hugo Savinovich that was called in to call that?
Okay.
That's going to be very interesting of who they could have, because I know that there's been a little bit of an evolution on that end, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how cool would it be if like Conan's also involved?
Right. Yeah.
Conan and Jeremy Borash are handling a lot of stuff
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I really wonder if Rey Mysterio is going to be a part of this in any way.
Get no yeet. I was waiting for the Cena chance to start. Holy. Wow.
Now let's look at the difference of this entrance. As we notice the lack of speed from John Cena right now. Very little excitement. He's wearing the title backwards. Towel was not thrown out. It is held behind the cranium of one John Cena. Stu gets no words of advice. When was the last time John Cena wore a white t-shirt, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
But he's rocking the Laker colors for his hat.
Well, they are in Bakersfield, California. I mean, it should be blue and orange to support the Condors. Come on.
someone going to give him a mic, or is he just going to walk back and forth? Oh, Jesus. Oh, snapperdoodles.
For a brief moment, because I only seen the stripes on Logan Paul, I was going to say it looks like Logan Paul finished his shift at Foot Locker.
Whoa, that was crazy.
That was before I realized he's actually wearing a soccer jersey. So
And just
That's
like
a
soccer
rugby
players,
jersey.
I said, a soccer jersey.
It's a
Rugby's-
big difference between rugby and soccer.
yeah, rugby's
Not to me,
soccer.
there isn't.
Well, that doesn't mean you're right. In rugby, you at least hold the ball with your hands.
Uh-oh.
What an endorsement for Logan Paul, though.
Right? Oh man. I would kind of laugh if Logan just confiscated that title and walked out with it, and then walked into Money in the Bank with it around his waist for their match. I mean, that'd be kind of funny. Wow. That's a sight, boys.
Yeah, what a visual to go out on.
Right? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful right there. And holy, like you said, Parrish. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like you said, like that's what an endorsement for Logan Paul from Cena. I mean, calling it right now. He's the face. He's the future heavyweight champion. I don't know how much deeper into that pool you could dive for that kid.
Well, and that's the thing, though. Like, it's a hell of a endorsement for Logan Paul, but also a great way to get extra heat for John Cena. Who do you align with? Who's very hated by the masses? Well, Logan Paul is hated. So gotta love the fact that he is aware enough to align himself with somebody like Logan Paul, who the fans will just detest him that much more now.
Yeah.
But
And if this leads to anything between Cena and Logan Paul, what better way to turn Cena back babyface than to have a feud with Logan Paul?
I mean, true.
the doorways are always open, and that is what is very intriguing. The product today.
Yeah.
But starting with you, OMD, what was your take? What was your most takeaway from SmackDown tonight? And do you want to let the people not only know where they could find you, but what you have going on next?
Absolutely. This was a fantastic show all the way around. They didn't overbook the show. It was a great go-home show for the PLE tomorrow. And then you can start writing the next chapters on Monday. And that's what I'm looking forward to. No moment that truly stood out for me during the entire show. But I just love the way it went. As for the people, if you are looking for me, you can find me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMDShow. And visually, you can catch me this Sunday night right alongside the man on my left on the screen, Bubba Duke with the Boar's Nest.
Hopefully.
OMD. Thank you. Bubba Duke, what about you? What was your takeaway from SmackDown? Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up next?
Holy. From what I caught of SmackDown, because I missed a bit, it was great. The women's match that we got to see, the 6 woman tag match, phenomenal. And then everything with Seth Rollins and his faction just taking people out to make the odds better for him to win. What a smart plan to do when you want that title shot. You want that contract to guarantee you wherever you want to go, you get it. So overall, the show was great. I am more interested in watching the pay-per-view tomorrow.
Billy.
The PLE, sorry, yeah, we don't call it pay-per-views anymore. I got to get up to that. I'm working on it. But I'm super sold on watching this with all the stories that are going on. And you guys can reach me on YouTube, Bubba Duke Show, and on Twitch, Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. I know OMD said that there is going to be a Boar's Nest Sunday. I'm not sure. I might have to go to work. So if I'm not there, that man will be there, and he will have something for you guys to learn, to watch, to entertain yourselves with. Again, thank you for letting me come on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
We love having you, Bubba.
Chris Best, we have not yet talked about what's going on tomorrow in this little finale here. So why don't you do the honors and not only let us know what you loved about the show, but let's take it away with where the people can find you, what you have coming up, and why don't you talk more about tomorrow when you have that chance?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway from tonight's show is something that I've been wondering when it was ever going to happen, but the tag teams standing up to the Wyatt Six. Finally, we've got somebody standing up to them. And even though, like, earlier this year, we did have the Final Testament standing up to them, I feel like that still just wasn't enough to take out the Wyatt Six. I mean, look at what happened to the Final Testament anyways. But that's my biggest takeaway, and I'm looking forward to seeing just what exactly Nick Aldis is going to do as far as the tag team division and the Wyatt Six go. But yeah, tomorrow you can look for me. I think 7 p.m. Eastern, whenever the PLE is, doing the PLE patrol for Money in the Bank. And if OMD, Bubba Duke, you guys are free, Parrish, I believe you've got something on the go tomorrow night. So if you guys, the door is wide open for you guys to join.
Awesome stuff. And if everybody's wondering, by the way, why we aren't showcasing the our socials, well, I mean, they're right there and right in front of you underneath our names. The only exception is Bubba Duke, but I mean, he's new. He'll get a link tree eventually. I mean, things take time, and for Bubba Duke takes longer. But that's far and far. Yeah, where you can find me, obviously, my link tree, Chris Parrish. Sometimes you can follow me at Beardcade, YEG. And if you want to know more about where that is, well, let me tell you, it's 10544 82nd Avenue, live in Edmonton, Alberta, downtown on the White Avenue area. You can check them out on Facebook. You can check them out on Instagram and on X. That's right. They're on X. They're just not allowed to sell it. That is wrong and illegal. But you can have a good time there playing some video games, playing some, sometimes No Mercy. That is sometimes you can play there. It's fun. But where you can see me next, obviously Sunday with Chris Parrish podcast, 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. I will definitely review everything. I will even talk about all the contracts not being renewed and even the breaking news that we got today with Limp Bizkit doing Braun Breaker's new theme song and Mike the Miz Mizanin mutually parting ways with the WWE. Whoa, we'll find out more about that. But what I enjoyed about SmackDown, am I a broken record? Let's go back to that 6-woman tag team match. Holy cow. Is this not the best female division ever in pro wrestling? I don't know. I think it is. It is absolutely stacked. We got Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer starting this match. We got Rhea Ripley taking that win. I think this is a great showcase of what the future of the current WWE women's landscape is. And we haven't even talked about Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, Io Sky, among others. Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Like, come on, the list goes on. Tiffany Stratton, we got a plethora. Yeah, got to get that word in there. Of amazing competitors in that division. I loved this match. It was amazing. And I thought, you know what? Makes me want to see this Money in the Bank ladder match tomorrow, where you can watch it on Netflix. But also, if you want to see reactions, the PLE Patrol is right there. So, with that being said, I'll turn it to you, Chris Best, so we can go home.
OMD. What are those famous words we like to go out on?
Those famous words that we like to go out on, I am going to change it up a little bit tonight. And I am going to go with something that Bubba and I use, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at the Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your ground, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more thought of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break.